Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's presentation. And what we're going to show you is we're going to show you something extremely unique today. Now, if you are watching this from our very special technology that allows you to be able to engage with this presentation, what you're going to notice is that on the left of your screen, there's going to be some products there. Now, we're going to explain how these products can actually save you more money going into your household, but also be able to create an additional side income for you without you having to do anything extra other than what you do already, which is share great information with people that they can benefit from. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about your vehicle. We're going to talk about how you can actually get paid to do things to your vehicle that you're doing anyway, but it's instead of it costing you money, it will save you money and create an additional stream of revenue. So we're going to jump right in and we're going to talk about the gas prices. Now, a lot of people have seen them come down. They're still relatively high. So I'm going to pull up my screen here and we're going to dive right in. And we ask that you make sure you eliminate any distractions and make sure you feed the fish or turn off that automatic income reducer, which is called the television set, and focus all your attention on this presentation here, because this is something that will legitimately and has been proven to put money back in people's pockets. And we're going to show you exactly how. So let me share my screen here. Make sure you guys can see the presentation and we're going to rock and roll here. Now, what you're going to see on this screen is we're looking at 2021 versus 2022, and we're looking at August. Now, most people say, hey, the gas prices are coming down, and that means I don't have much to worry about. Well, the gas prices are lower, but they're still over $1.40 higher than what you paid last year. And with that said, gas prices are still high. Now, what we want to talk about is, in addition to the gas prices being high, there is also something that is happening with gas, and inside of gas is that little component called ethanol. Have you ever drove to the gas station and you see that it says this gas contains 10% ethanol? Well, folks, ethanol is a component that's corn and water, and it is used to actually expand the gas supply and is also used to make it an octane type of gas that can be adaptable to your car, but it also has some side effects. The side effects of ethanol in gas is that, number one, it can cause stalling, it can also cause corrosion, and it can cause clogging. These things can happen when gas is left in a vehicle or left in a machine that requires gas too long without running. And sometimes it just has a overall effect where it can wear down the parts of your car. That is a problem because that creates additional maintenance bills for people and they don't know why. Don't worry, we're going to dive into what this can cause to your engine that you don't know, and why some of you, if you don't be careful, you're going to end up seeing a bigger maintenance bill because engines cost a lot to repair, cost a lot to clean. If you don't believe me, just take a look at what your service bill is when you take your car to get serviced. Now, we look at the top unforeseen expenses in American families. Number 3 is unexpected medical bills. Number 2 is home repairs. Number 1 is car repairs or car replacements. How many people have ever had out of the blue, kind of something happened to your car and it was engine related and you got that bill? And when you got that bill, you literally died inside because that bill was completely expensive, like nothing you've ever seen. You're like, oh my goodness. So we have all experienced unexpected car repairs or car replacements, especially those individuals who no longer have warranty. So we talk about that because one of the things that will make us panic, because we think about those high repair bills, is the check engine light. How many people have seen that in their vehicle before? As a matter of fact, let me see who's going to be brave here. How many people have that check engine light on right now in their car and they're wondering why it's on? So let me look in the comments here and see who has a check engine light on. You know what, Nicholas, thank you. That happens to a lot of people. I'm going to be honest. I have expensive vehicles right now, but guess what? They have check engine lights on and I don't even know why. Well, guess what? I educated myself, and I learned why. How many people want to know one of the reasons why your check engine light may come on, even if you had your car oil change and you had your alternators fixed? Let me just share with you a reason. Now, every day, millions of dollars are expended into car and engine repairs. You want to know what a culprit of this is? Listen very closely. You drive up and down the highway, you see people up and down the highway, and one of the biggest problems that every single vehicle has with the current gas is that gas causes inefficient combustion. Well, Melvin, what the heck is that? Can you explain what that means? Well, the way gas is that it's not giving your car all of the available fuel at the time it needs it the most. And when you have unburned fuel that is not being used and combusted all the way when your car needs it, it is going to sit inside of your gas tank and go through your engine, and it's going to cause something. You want to know what that is? It's called varnish. This is what happens when gas is not combusting correctly, which happens in every single car. It starts to create a film, a sticky gummy film called varnish that plugs passages, it plugs different things, and that causes different effects in your engine. Well, what happens if you don't get your car serviced? Well, that varnish starts to harden and it turns into what's called carbon. You can look this up. You can get carbon in your engine, folks, when you don't combust correctly. And when it gets in your engine, it can be really, really bad for your car's performance. Why? Because number one, you get excessive heat, you get poor performance. So are you wondering why your car doesn't rev up like it used to when you get it? Do you wonder why you're not getting all the horsepower? Well, this is why. You probably have this around your engine passages and you need to have it serviced. Well, when we talk about inefficient combustions, there's a lot of things that happen around this. You know, you have varnish, you have carbon, you have exhaust emissions, you have rust that goes on, you have poor fuels, you have water and fuels. All of that together causes engine damage from inefficient combustion. Now, you may take a trip to the local hardware store and you say, well, man, or local auto store, well, man, I'm just going to find a product that is going to clean this out. Well, unfortunately, there is nothing in the auto shop, your AutoZone, that can solve this. And some of those products that you use already, they have side effects. We're going to talk about the side effects because a lot of people are very unaware when they put in this fuel injection cleaner. Hey, it might clean my fuel injection, but what else is it doing to my car? We're going to talk about that. Now, we need a solution to help save money on gas because it's still expensive and extend the engine life of your vehicle. What if you knew that large companies have used this solution for years and they saved millions of dollars using that solution, and that solution was made available to the general public, and now you can benefit? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce you to a product called Fuel Factor X, and we like to say how to bank your tank. Let me break that down and tell you what that means. You're going to save money at the gas pump. It's going to prolong your engine life by 40%. It's going to boost power and performance, and it's going to reduce emissions by up to 33%. Now, you're probably wondering, what's in this Fuel Factor X? And it's like a superfood for your engine. There are multiple ingredients, each designed for a specific purpose. Let's take a look. Now, what you're looking at here, folks, is a comprehensive fuel treatment. This is not an additive. It's a comprehensive fuel treatment. And we have thousands and thousands and thousands of testimonies on this. And I'm going to go through and tell you what this will do to your vehicle. Now, if you look to the left of your screen, if you can see it, you're going to see the Fuel Factor X up there. And at any time during this presentation, I know most of you are looking to that. If you want to purchase, you can actually purchase inside this presentation. But we're going to explain to you what this is. And if you like it, you can actually purchase inside the presentation, and we'll have it shipped to your home within 7 to 10 business days. So let's talk about this. It contains detergents. That's important because that's going to remove harmful deposits from your fuel pumps, injectors throughout your fuel system. That could prevent varnish and carbon buildup because you have detergents cleaning it. Then it has lubricating agent that provides lubrication to pistons, fuel pumps, and injectors. It reduces friction and prolongs the working life of your engine. Then it has a fuel stabilizer, which prolongs the life of stored fuel. That's ideal for seldom used equipment like your lawnmower or things that you may put gas in that you need it. It will keep your gas combustible. Then we have polymerization retardants and dispersants, which reduces sludge buildup in the fuel that can plug your filters. Also, we have rust and corrosion inhibitors. It prevents tank and fuel system corrosion caused by oxidation and condensation. Then we have a water demulsifier, which helps remove water from fuel. Now, these two are very important because when you're going to the gas station, you don't know if water or condensation is leaked into that fuel. And because you don't know whether that is leaked into the fuel, you are pumping gas in your car that could be combined with water. You can't see it in your fuel tank because the nozzle is too far down. So you don't know what's coming out that fuel tank. You're trusting that is this pure gas that's not mixed with water, but you never know. It happens. So you need protection against that when it does happen. That's what causes the inside of your cars and everything to rust. Last but not least, we have one of the most important components of our fuel factor, and this is a proprietary component. It is the organometallic compound. And let me tell you what that does. When you put gas in your car without fuel factor X, do you know what happens? I'm going to explain it to you. Your car or your vehicle is automatically going to burn that fuel at too high of a temperature. Now, what happens if you burn something too high temperature? Well, imagine putting a cake in the oven and you turn that oven up as high as it can go and you burn that cake. Well, it's going to get all done on the outside with a gooey middle and it's going to leave residue. What do you think happens to the fuel? It leaves residue because of inefficient combustion and because it's burning too high. So what does this organometallic compound do? It actually lowers the temperature of the fuel so that you have less wasted fuel out the exhaust, and that reduces your emissions. And it also will allow you to use more of the available BTUs of the fuel. So generally what happens, if you're wondering how this affects your wallet, when you go to the gas station right now without fuel factor X, some of your money is being blown out of the tailpipe in emissions and not going towards your distance in driving. Fuel factor X prevents that from happening. Fuel factor X allows your car to burn at a lower, slower temperature. So in layman's terms, this is what makes your gas last a lot longer. Now let's talk a little bit about the organometallic history. It was awarded the Nobel Prize in 1973, and it was also used in NASA to get rockets into space because it would not burn evenly. So it solved that problem. Now, this is truly simple. You literally open the bottle, you put it into your tank of fuel nozzle, and you drive your car. It is not very complicated. So everyone can use this because a lot of people have a vehicle and they go to the gas station. So this makes sense for you to go to the gas station and not only reduce the amount of money you're spending on fuel, but also save money in other places in your car. So let's talk about that. Let's say the blue car is a car where the driver has put fuel factor X in prior to putting gas in, but the car at the bottom, which is a yellow car, does not have fuel factor X. Let me tell you the advantages between the two cars. This is what makes the difference. You can drive further for less, and you have fuel consumption of at least 20% or higher. Well, you can decrease it by 20% or lower. Let me stop. 20% higher, 20% or higher. Yeah, you can decrease fuel consumption by 20% or higher. So in some cases, it might be 30%. Some cases, it might be 40%. It really depends. You can also increase horsepower and performance, which means your car is going to get all of the horsepower that you have being restricted because you don't have your engine and everything clean of debris. It's going to also decrease your maintenance costs because if your engine can last up to 40% longer, that means that's less maintenance on your engine and more good running time. Now we're off to the races. Let's drive. Well, the car in the yellow is going to have to stop at the gas station while the car in the blue is still going because the organometallic compound has lowered the rate at which the fuel burns. So while you're at the gas station having to refill up at the yellow car, the blue car is still going. That is the visual difference when you have fuel factor versus when you don't. And we talk about insurance. It says, does this affect my warranty? Most people ask that question. It's a very valid question. I'm glad you're thinking about it. Well, this does not affect the specs of your gas or diesel, so it does not change the specs and cannot affect the warranties. And My Daily Choice also maintains insurance for any claims that may occur using the additive. Let me just kind of tell you right now, we have never had a complaint in the 20-year history of this being used. Now, why haven't you heard this before? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because for 20 years, this was used by industrial companies, and it was only sold in 55-gallon barrels, and it wasn't practical for public use. One company briefly came out with it, but then again, it was consumed by commercial companies that wanted to use it. So we made it available in small, easy to manage bottles and packets for personal use, so you can actually use it in your vehicle. Now, My Daily Choice is a company that has now presented this option to all of us. So thank goodness they gave us an option to help with fuel and maintenance costs of your vehicle. And just so you know, this works in gas or diesel, which mainly, if you look us up, we're on the EPA, and you'll see that. So we are EPA registered, and we do have a patent on the formula. The United States government decided that there's no other formula on the market that could do what this could do. So we were awarded a patent. Not to mention, we have tons and tons of documentation by companies such as General Electric and things of that nature, who can really attest to the usage of this. This was used by mining companies. It was used by trucking companies. It was used by a bunch of commercial companies, and they wrote in to tell us how effective this was. And we are now bringing this to you so you can enjoy the benefits. Now, folks, this works. It was tested for over 20 years, over 65 million hours of use, and over 2.5 billion miles driven. Now, it works on everything: motorcycles, semi-trucks, regular cars, regular SUVs, mopeds, tractors, lawnmowers, boats. If it takes gas or diesel, it can use Fuel Factor X to save you money. Now, we are asked this question all the time. Well, what makes this product so different? Well, let me tell you why it's so different. Because in a store, you'd have to buy a bunch of products to equal what this could do. And here's the side effects. Are you ready? Remember, I told you there's side effects of these products. What most people don't realize is that you have to account for emissions. You just can't put anything and everything in your car, because emissions means that if you put something in your car and it might cure one thing, but it has bad emissions and smokes, then you're going to be doing your car damage. You don't want any black smoke coming out your car. If you do a burn test on these products, most of them will burn black smoke. If you do that same test on Fuel Factor X, it will burn a white or clear smoke. That is why it is really, really great for emissions. We've had cars that have used this for 2 cycles or 2 treatments, and before using Fuel Factor X, they were failing emissions tests. After using it, they were now passing emissions tests with flying colors. Now, we ask you to take the 60-day challenge, folks. Order Fuel Factor X today. You can do that to the left of your screen, and you'll find that your car is running smoother. It's up to 20% fuel economy, and it adds days between fill-ups. Not to mention, you can save at the pump, and we offer a 60-day money-back guarantee. If you have used a product for at least a recommended period of time and you see no results, the company will refund your money, even if you have used the entire bottle. That's a 60-day empty bottle money-back guarantee. And we have not had anybody execute that guarantee. Why? Because it is saving people money.